You should see how beautiful this thing is. Well, guys, it's a real pleasure. It's a real pleasure to be here, and I promise you, we are going to win this state, and we are going to keep America great. We're going to do it. You know, the whole country has been watching this state. The whole country, I have to tell you, the whole country has been watching this state. And when you look at what happened in Minneapolis, she is so beautiful, by the way. Look at that girl, wearing the Trump Penn sweater and the pink hat. By the way, if she was a Democrat, she would be voting, and she'd be voting multiple times, right? If she was a Democrat, Ilhan Omar would have her on the team, and she'd be taking people's ballots from each of the respective houses, right? Why is it that never happens on the Trump side, huh? Yeah, that's right. That's right, because we are honest. That's the difference between the two of them. I've been tweeting all week about this Project Veritas video. Everybody's seen it, right? Where they're literally going and intimidating older folks. They're intimidating older folks to get their ballots and to cheat. And they're actually, guys, they're doing it on TikTok. It's not even like they're hiding it. It's not like they're brazen about it. They're doing this stuff on TikTok, and they know that's the only way they can win. This guy, you saw him in what did everybody think about the debate the other night? You know, I loved it, right? My father is like the greatest fighter in the world, and he goes out there and, like everybody, you had the media, the fake news back there, right? You had the media, and all right, what does everybody think of CNN? They're the worst. They're actually unwatchable. Even Fox is kind of becoming unwatchable now. It's kind of like an amazing thing, but people are onto their games, right? I mean, you saw that question the other day about, white supremacists. My father has condemned white supremacy about 4,000 times, including last week signing an executive order calling white supremacists, calling the KKK a terrorist organization. Yet Chris Wallace asked that question, but he doesn't ask Biden. He doesn't ask Sleepy Joe, who hasn't left his basement in 4 years. He doesn't ask him about Antifa. He doesn't ask him about Seattle burning and Minneapolis burning and Portland burning and Chicago having 50 people shot every single weekend. I mean, these guys are unbelievable. These guys are unbelievable. And, I always go back to 2016, guys. In 2016, I really believe that all of us, we were running against my father. He was running against incompetence, right? He was running against Obama, who gave $150 billion to Iran, a country that absolutely hates our guts. They chant death to America, yet Biden and Obama gave $150 billion to Iran, and they had the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression. They had terrible unemployment, and they were just really bad at what they did, right? We were running against total incompetence. You look at the party today. Look at what this party stands for. And, guys, that's why we fight as hard as we do. But look at what this party stands for today. The party of AOC, the party of Ilhan Omar. They want $4 trillion in extra taxes. Congratulations, you wouldn't be building this building. There's no way with $4 trillion worth of extra taxes. They literally want to stop building the southern border. Did you guys see this? Kamala Harris came out and said, we want to take down the wall. So why would you take down 400 miles of wall that's working incredibly well? Is that really a good idea? We want to take down the wall. Why? You see what they're doing to religion in this country. I mean, the way that they're attacking Christianity is, guys, it's disgusting. I mean, well, that's one of them. And they want to take "In God We Trust" off of the currency. They want to get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance in the schools. You saw when the Democrats did the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of the DNC, right? Everybody saw this thing, right? So they took out two words, under God. What is it about the Democratic Party coming after, they're now saying that they're the party of the quote-unquote atheists. And we're the party of the atheists, they say. And I don't understand it. Why do you want to get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance? And why do you want to get rid of, the national anthem? And why will you let people burn that American flag? And they're totally fine with it. They don't condemn it. And you see all these athletes that are kneeling for the national anthem. I mean, you have guys making $30 million a year from sponsors who make all their product in China kneeling for the national anthem. And, and by the way, it's why the NFL ratings have gone down. It's why NBA ratings have gone to hell. It's why people aren't tuning in. Guys, it's gross. It's gross. And guys, I could go on and on with this. I'll never forget my father, the first time he gets to the White House, right? And they kept on calling it, there's a big, beautiful tree on the south grounds of the White House. And they kept on calling it the holiday tree. Every day he'd walk by, yes, a nice holiday tree right there. And He goes, I don't understand, guys. So it's got ornaments on it, right? Yeah. It's got the fake snow stuff on it, right? Yeah. You know, it's got lights on it. He's like, call it a damn Christmas tree. What is going on with this? But you have a party, guys. You have a party who wants to take away faith. They want to take away your freedom of speech. If you wear a Make America Great hat, they try and come after you. They try and come after your business. I mean, not that anybody here cares, right? Because you're all wearing MAGA hats, but they want to come after your business. They want to cancel you on Twitter and Facebook and Google. You see that. You know, they want to come after your guns. They want to come after your Second Amendment rights. Why? And by the way, they're not taking anybody's guns. They're not taking my guns. They're not taking any of your guns. I guarantee you that. But they want to come after all of our way of life. And it doesn't make sense. They want to increase the taxes. They want to go after border wall. I mean, this is crazy. They want to keep schools closed. You see what so many of these states are doing? They're totally fine with the Antifas of the world, just ransacking. Again, you see what they've done to law enforcement. Look at what Minneapolis. I mean, you must have the most incompetent mayor in Minneapolis. Very different. It's very different than her. She's incredible. Tracy, we'll take you anywhere. We'll take this mayor. By the way, if I can take you back to New York, we have the most incompetent mayor in New York. Maybe not quite as, I don't know, it's a pretty good little rivalry between the incompetence of the mayor of New York versus the mayor of Minneapolis. I'm not sure which one is worse, but they're pretty bad. I mean, but you know what's really interesting about your mayor? You know, and I shouldn't say your mayor. It's not your mayor. It's the mayor of Minneapolis, but he's not liked by the liberals. He's not liked by the far left. Remember, he tried to go out there and march with them. They go, hey, buddy, get the hell out of here. So he's not liked by any of you, but he's also not liked by any of them. It's kind of like an amazing thing. But we're going to defund the police in Minneapolis. All of a sudden, they realize crime goes through the roof. All the storefronts are getting crushed. You can still see the damage all over the place. And then the city council all of a sudden comes back and says, you know what, we made a mistake. We're not actually going to defund law enforcement. I don't know how these guys think that this could possibly be a good idea. In New York, they tried to do the same thing, right? They took $1 billion out of the NYPD budget, and they got rid of all undercover law enforcement. You know what happened? In 90 days, crime went up by 300%. Like, does that surprise anybody here? That beautiful little girl in the pink gloves with the white hat and the Trump sweater, she could tell anybody here that if you get rid of all undercover law enforcement, how beautiful is she? She could tell anybody here that if you get rid of all undercover law enforcement, you get rid of $1 billion, crime's going to go through the roof. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And you look at what my father's done, guys. You look at what he's done for this country. I mean, he's built the greatest economy the world has ever seen. Look at 401ks. Open your 401ks. Open your IRAs. Open your pension funds, right? Look what he's done for Hispanics in this country. Look what he's done for African Americans. Look what he's done for women. The lowest female unemployment, the lowest African American unemployment, the lowest Hispanic unemployment. Look how many people have come off of food stamps. You know, the amount of people that have come off of welfare and the amount of people that have come off of food stamps, the way wages have grown in this nation. And they attack him. Look what he did to our military. Look how he rebuilt it. I mean, you know, guys, I remember when he, a couple of days before he actually announced, before he came down that escalator, I remember him literally reading papers in the office. I remember him shaking his head. And 60 Minutes did an article. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And many of you probably saw it. They did a story. They let the press into our ICBMs, right, in the Midwest, our nuclear silos. And they go in there and they do a whole story about how run down they were. And I remember being with my father that day, and he's shaking his head saying, how in the world, first of all, how in the world could you ever let our military get there? That's the first question. That's the obvious question, right? But why would you ever allow the press to go into nuclear silos in this country only to report to China and the rest of the world and Russia and all these other people, North Korea, all these countries that absolutely hate our guts, the condition of our military? Who is making these calls? How incompetent could we possibly be as a nation? And it was actually, the military is one of the greatest things that got my father to hop into the race. I remember how pissed off he was when he saw that story, and he jumped in a couple days after that. But I remember them, they were literally under Obama administration. They were borrowing parts off of museum planes, planes that had been parked in museums to get our fighter aircraft airborne because we didn't have enough parts. We were out of parts for our fighter jets. And you saw this, our aircraft carriers, and you saw our Navy, and you saw one of the first things that the generals told my father when he got in, "Sir, whatever you do, please don't get into any conflicts." My father goes, "Well, I mean, I wasn't planning to. Like, I've been in office for about 4 hours, but why?" He goes, "Sir, we're out of ammunition. We're out of ammunition." My father goes, "We're America. Like, how can you possibly be out of ammunition? No one out here is out of ammunition, right? How?" Yeah. I'm not out of ammo in my house either, all right? If you're not out of ammo, how the hell could the United States government be out of ammo? How? And he goes, I was instantly embarrassed. Like, this is the country that Biden and Obama left. They had run down the military. You saw what happened to our veterans, our most incredible people in this country, the way they were treated, the 22 suicides every single day, the care. You'd go to some of these VA facilities, you'd have the flu and it would take you 7 months to get an appointment. I mean, horrible, horrible care. And he's saying there, why can't this be fixed? And by the way, why is our country 30th in the world in terms of education? Why? Why aren't we doing school choice? Why are we 30th in the world in terms of education? And why is there an assault on natural gas? And why is there an assault on our miners? And why is there an assault on our coal workers? I know this is a big coal community. Why is there an assault on our coal worker? These are incredible, incredible people. And you had literally Hillary running around, "Oh, we're going to put that industry out of business. That'll be nice. And we're going to make solar panels." And then you look at L.A. There's the mayor of L.A. He's another great gem. He's kind of like the mayor of Minneapolis. It got up to like 85 degrees the other day in L.A., and he writes a tweet. "Please, everybody, unplug your appliances, unplug your refrigerators, turn your thermostats up to 80 degrees because we're out of energy." And we're sitting there saying, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, Louisiana, this state, many other places, you've got the greatest natural gas, you've got the greatest oil reserves in the world. Why aren't we using that? They're literally, California, which if you were to break it off the United States, would be the 8th largest economy in the world. And you have the mayor of LA telling you to unplug your refrigerator? What is this, a banana republic? We live in America. We don't unplug our refrigerators. We have like 3 refrigerators and they're totally stocked, right? Like, that's America. We live in the greatest country in the world. And guys, we should never apologize for that. In the last administration, all they did was apologize for the greatness of this country. That's all the last administration did. I mean, I'll never forget, Obama went over to China. Right? Many of you might remember this, but Air Force One, an amazing plane, no more beautiful plane in the world, lands, turns, finally parks, and there was no one there, literally. It was like empty. It was like that cornfield over there. It was just empty. There wasn't a single person there, right? There was no red carpet. There was no marching band. Literally, the back stairs to Air Force One come down, and Obama comes walking off. I mean, there's no dignitaries to meet him. The president wasn't there. No foreign officials. No marching band. Nothing. He's literally standing in the middle of the tarmac in China, like looking around. And that's what they thought of us. I mean, that's literally what they thought. An American president could fly into China, and they wouldn't even greet him. It's like it's like an American Airlines flight landed. I mean, they wouldn't even show up. I mean, that's how little respect the last administration had. And you look at the reception my father's getting now when he lands somewhere, whether it be in Asia or whether it be in the Middle East or whether it be anywhere. Believe me, the entire country's there, and the president's there, and the entire leadership's there. And I always say, guys, if my father landed that day and there was no one there to meet the president of the United States, he would have looked at the captain of Air Force One, amazing guys, and he would have said, "You know what, Captain, fuel up this plane. We're going to get the hell out of China. We're not going to be here anymore. We're going to get the hell out of China." But you know what? Obama and Biden and everyone else, they went around the world apologizing for the greatness of this country. I mean, they were apologizing for the fact that we are the greatest nation on earth by far. No one even comes close. And, it doesn't surprise me that they were apologizing to everybody and they were kissing up to everybody. You see Hunter Biden. I mean, if I did 1/100th of what Hunter Biden did, I'd be in jail for the rest of my life. I mean, in fact, beyond that, it would have been capital punishment. I would have been shot, right? They would have lined me up in the middle of that field. They would have shot me. I mean, think about that. He flies over on Air Force Two with his father. And, he's a troubled kid who got kicked out of the Navy, did a lot of cocaine, did a lot of other things, right? And he comes back from China with $1.5 billion for his hedge fund. $1.5 billion for his hedge fund, right? And, then now you see the mayor of Moscow's wife is giving Hunter Biden $3.5 million. And one of the heads of China is giving him, 5-carat diamonds to bring back to the United States. It's kind of interesting. What did this kid ever do? What job did he ever have that he deserved 5-carat diamonds? Think about it. But guys, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. And guys, this is why my father ran. I mean, we're the last family in the world that needs this crap. That much I can tell you. We're the last family in the world that needs this nonsense. So that much I can tell you. And you know what? I was watching him. I mean, actually, they did it last night here. But, I was watching last week in Arizona, and it was a beautiful thing. He goes out there, and there's like 30,000 people, and everybody's having a great time. And, in 2016, we had like the greatest chance in the world. We had Lock Her Up, which is still, would you say that's still the best chant, Lock Her Up? Still pretty good. It's kind of interesting. Last night they started chanting that, but that wasn't toward Hillary Clinton. You know who it was toward, right? It was toward Ilhan Omar. They started chanting Lock Her Up, right? And then they had the other chants. They had Build the Wall. And Build the Wall was fun. That's red meat stuff, right? And it's fun. I like that one. I like that one, too. What is that? Is that a Trump? Is that a Trump WWE belt? I love that. By the way, you think Biden has this passion? I mean, literally, Biden would have 4 people here, and they'd be separated in literally circles the size of those fields, right, with little yellow lines around them. I mean, literally, the guy doesn't have 6 people show up at his events. You think he has this kind of passion? But the other guy. So you had Build the Wall, and you had Lock Her Up, and you had Fill That Seat. You had all these things, right? The other night in Arizona, it happened again last night. There was a chant. 30,000 people start chanting one thing. It really brought tears to my eyes. They start chanting, "We love you. We love you." And you know what, guys? That makes it all worth it. For the amount of times we've gotten punched in the face, for the amount of times my father has been impeached, and they've weaponized the FBI, and they've weaponized the DOJ, and now crazy Nancy is trying to impeach him again because he is going to fill the Supreme Court seat. Believe me, that's going to... And by the way, we're going to win this thing, and we're going to fill 3 more seats, all right? I promise you that much. You want to see the liberals totally melt down? You want to see the radical left totally melt down? When you have an 8-1 Supreme Court, they are really going to be melting down, right? When you have an 8-1 Supreme Court with people who are 40 years old on that court who will be there for the next 50 years, you want to see the liberals melt down? So Nancy Pelosi wants to impeach him again, and then you had the Ukraine hoax, and then they tried to destroy Kavanaugh's life, and then they subpoena me every day, and they have Donnie come on, my brother Don, who's an amazing guy. They put him on Capitol Hill for 30 hours doing congressional testimony, and yet Hillary Clinton, she can delete 33,000 emails. What happens to her? Absolutely nothing. Comey is the greatest crook in the history of the country. And you know what happens to him? Absolutely nothing. Guys, the scales of justice in this country, if you happen to be on our side of the aisle, the scales of justice are just unequal. But you know what? When I heard that chant the other day, "We love you," guys, it makes it all worth it. It makes it all worth it. And I really believe we love you guys. We love you. We love you. Guys, it makes it all worth it. It really does. And I'm telling you, I really, truly believe in my heart of hearts that they thought that they could hit my father so hard when he first got in, that he was used to living a great life and a much better life than he lives in Washington, D.C. He'd finally say, you know what, guys, this isn't worth it. This crap's not worth it. I'm going to go back to living a great life. I mean, his friends come up to me all the time. Why does your dad want to do this? It's almost like, it's like narcissistic. It's like the whole thing's it's like, it's a crazy, like he just likes pain. He likes, it's, and you know what, guys? It's because we're saving this country. I mean, it really, we're saving this country. And make no mistake about it, this isn't Republican versus Democrat. I hate it. And people in the Republican Party do this all the time, and I totally disagree with them. They talk about the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Guys, this isn't Republicans versus Democrats. This is right versus wrong. It's right versus wrong. And you know what's a really interesting fact? My father last night when he was here, you know the percentage of people in the audience that were Republicans? 29%. You know the percentage of people in the audience that weren't? Well over 60. Well over 60. Guys, this is about the difference between a party that loves red, white, and blue, that loves law enforcement, that stands for our national anthem, that says the Pledge of Allegiance, that wants the greatest military on earth, that wants the safest communities on earth, that wants to protect the Second Amendment, that wants to have the lowest unemployment, have wage growth, wants to stop getting ripped off by China and Mexico and NATO and the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord, that wants to have prosperous mines, that wants to have prosperous farmers, that wants to have prosperous steel workers and coal workers, that wants to have faith in this country, that believes in God, versus a party that believes in none of those things. That's fine with anarchy. That's fine with terror. That's fine with, abolishing police. That's fine with universal health care. You have Kamala Harris who came out and said, I want to get rid of 180 million private health care plans. Think about this lunacy. 180 million private health care plans. Kamala Harris literally called law enforcement the KKK in a congressional hearing. She compared law enforcement, she compared ICE to the KKK, and our law enforcement officers are the greatest people in this country. And for all of you here, and I see many of you in the background, for all of you here, just know that we love you and we appreciate you and we stand behind you. And that's not just the Metro PD, that's the troopers and the sheriffs and the ATF and the FBI, at least the rank and file. There's a lot of crooked guys at the top of the FBI, and the FBI and Homeland Security and so many people that I love, Secret Service. They are the most incredible people in the world. And guys, that's why we do it. That's why we do it. We do it for that beautiful little girl there. We do it for my two kids who are 1 and 3 respectively. We do it for the future of this country because of these radical lunatics. This is not JFK. This is not the party of JFK. This is not the party of Bill Clinton. That much I can tell you. These are radical lunatics who are hell-bent on tearing down our country, tearing down everything we stand for, tearing down the nuclear family. And guys, that's why we fight as hard as we do. We don't need to do it. And I can promise you one thing, guys. I can promise you one thing. There is no family over the next 33 days in the world who will fight harder for this cause. We will be the first people you see on TV every single morning, as much fake news as there is out there. We will be the last people you see before you go to bed. We will be in every single state working tirelessly. I just left Arizona 2 days ago, and a reporter came up to me. They go, don't you think it's a little desperate that your father was in Arizona, and you've been in Arizona, your wife's been in Arizona, Don's been in Arizona, Ivanka went to Arizona? I go, desperate? I go, how many times has Joe Biden been in Arizona? Well, sir, he's yet to show up. I go, has Kamala been here? No, sir, she has not showed up. I go, let me ask you a question. Is it desperation that we're there? Is it? I don't think so. I think it's called respect. I think it's called hard work. When you see a guy who literally does not come out of his basement, yet you have my father who will create Middle East peace, right? And then he will hop on a plane. He will create Middle East peace, something that hasn't been accomplished in thousands of years, right? Against countries that hate each other, that share different languages, different religions, disputed borders. They won't even fly. I mean, most of these countries, literally, you've never had a plane take off from one and land in the other. That's how much they hate each other. He'll fix Middle East peace And then he'll hop on a plane and he'll come to Minnesota and he'll come to Wisconsin. He'll go to Ohio and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Florida. And he'll rally in front of 30,000 people. Versus Sleepy Joe, and they always come out at 8 o'clock in the morning. They say, the former vice president has put a quote-unquote lid on it. They put a lid on it. It's like 8:50 in the morning. Who the hell puts a lid on it at 8:50 in the morning? You think the farmers of this country put a lid on it at 8:50 in the morning? You think the coal workers in this country put a lid on it at 8:30? No, I don't think so. No one's putting a lid on it. No hardworking. The only person that puts a lid on it at 8:50 in the morning is a guy who's been in politics for 47 freaking years, all right? Can you actually imagine having never earned a paycheck from anyone other than the federal government? Can you believe it? I mean, think about that. Meaning, you've been a politician your entire life. You've never actually signed the front of a check. They don't get your world. That much I can tell you. They don't. He's never lost sleep because he didn't think he could make payroll, or they had a bad day, or a bunch of trucks broke down and all of a sudden that caused a real financial problems. No, the guy sits back and he sits in his beautiful mansion. By the way, somebody ought to ask how the guy could afford that mansion in Wilmington, Delaware. Just do me a favor, when you get home, just Google Joe Biden mansion, Wilmington, Delaware. It's on the water. It's spectacular. How the hell could this guy afford? Maybe everybody should go into government. Maybe everybody should go into the United States government. For some reason, I don't actually believe that came from the United States government. I think it came from probably Hunter Biden or his brother or somebody else. But it's China, Russia, the Ukraine, China. China. Oh, that's going to be on TV tonight, China. Hey, guys, we love you so freaking much. We really do. We absolutely love you. And, guys, we love this country. And we are going to fight, and we are going to win this thing. And you know what? We lost this state by 1% in 2016. I'm very mad at all of you. We lost this state by 1% in 2016. And I can tell you we're going to win it this time. We're going to win it this time. And I promise, guys, my father will never, ever, ever, ever let you down, and we as a family will never let you down. So God bless you, and God bless the truckers of this country, and God bless the farmer. God bless all of you guys. And in 33 days, they're going to be crying again, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. And we love you, and we love America. God bless. God bless this incredible state, and God bless America. Thank you all very much for having me, and we'll be back very soon. We'll be back very, very soon.